Joining us now in the studio is one man hoping to capitalise on any potential Tory collapse, Deputy Leader of Reform UK Ben Habib.
Good morning.
Good morning. 5 pledges at the start of the year.
Yeah.
Can we not give Rishi half a point for halving the number of boat crossings across the
Has he halved them? Is it half? I think he's brought them down quite considerably. Yes, absolutely. And I'd be the first to admit when Rishi's got something right. And he has reduced the number of illegal crossings of the Channel, but that is principally due to identifying the Albanians as being a significant part of the problem. And Albania, of course,
could be weather-related as well.
It could be weather. People are saying that we've had worse weather this year than in the past. I don't watch the charts as avidly as some do, clearly. But, you know, there was a significant amount of people coming across in 2022 who were Albanian from a safe country to the United Kingdom who obviously should have been returned. And he has now got that returns agreement, not without cost, with Albania. But he still hasn't really grasped the problem of the illegal crossings of the Channel. You know, just like his fellow European Union member state governments haven't grasped the problem. Meloni, for all the talk that she had in order to get elected, hasn't really stopped the votes coming into Italy.
But is the biggest problem when it comes to how voters will vote?
I think it's a very visual example of how our government is failing to protect and promote the interests of the United Kingdom. As Keir Starmer said, it made me laugh when Keir Starmer said the government's lost control of our borders, because of course it was his predecessor, his mentor, but Tony Blair, who effectively opened the border, the United Kingdom's borders to unbridled migration. But it's very, very visual, isn't it? We all know that the nation state that is the United Kingdom is threatened. We've lost control of our borders. We have a progressive socialist system that doesn't recognise British culture, British values, British language. Our history is constantly being trashed. Our economy is in trouble. We promote the interests of migrants, legal migrants I'm talking about, over and above and to the detriment of the indigenous working population. All these are symptoms of the United Kingdom failing as a nation state. But the most visual example is illegal crossings of the Channel.
And, of course, the one thing that the Tories can manage and can control, legal migration, is also, some would argue, spiralling completely out of control.
Completely.
A city the size of Birmingham over the past 2 years.
Yes, and, you know, Olivia kind of said it. You know, the second, just talking about the economy for a second, second quarter, we were initially told that the economy had grown by 0.1%, and in the third quarter we told it had been flatlined, but they've revised those numbers to 0% growth in the second quarter, a mild regression in the economy in the third quarter, and per capita, which is the key point, per capita or per hour worked, we're all getting poorer because it's the migration that's holding up, ostensibly, this figure of GDP. So in real terms, in dollar terms per capita, the United Kingdom is getting poorer quite fast. And when one of his 5 pledges, growing the economy, well, he's demonstrably failed in that. Getting debt under control. No government, by the way, has ever reduced the national debt. No government in office has ever reduced national debt. The only way you control national debt is by growing the economy, but so that as a proportion of that.
If Rishi Sunak had done something right, would you admit it? Because it does sound, well, it does sound like you are on, and I'm not saying this is wrong, I'm just putting it to you, are you on a mission to obliterate the Tory party?
I am on a mission to obliterate the Tory party, but not because I've got anything against the Conservative Party. It's because the parliamentarians that represent the Conservative Party have taken this country to the point of existential evaporation. That's where we are. Suella Braverman made a fantastic speech in Washington where she identified the problem. Of course, she was talking about migration, but the problem is manifold. It's in every aspect of our existence, including, pertinently and very importantly, the economy. And, you know, when you look at what Rishi Sunak says, he's got no vision for the United Kingdom. What we desperately need is economic growth. And you don't get economic growth through unbridled migration. That might appear to hold up GDP, but GDP per capita reduces, and you create all sorts of other strains in the economy.
We need migration because we've got a lot of vacancies. Yeah,
we've got a lot of vacancies, but we've got 6 million people in this country. 3 million before the pandemic, before lockdowns, 6 million now, to a greater or less extent on universal credit. We've got a broken labour market. The priority of the government should be getting British citizens back into the workplace. And at the heart of that problem is an overtaxation of the working and middle classes. And that's got to be the priority tax to cut. Tax on working class, not inheritance tax, by the way.
How many seats will you be standing in against the Tories at what could be a spring election?
630 seats. We've already got 440-odd candidates lined up. We will be ready to stand right across Great Britain. We're not targeting Northern Ireland because actually we don't have any Conservative or Labour representation in Northern Ireland, which is one of the issues that Northern Ireland suffers with. And we see the DUP, TUV and UUP as our friends, as unionist friends of Reform UK.
Ben, so some would say you need to do what the Brexit Party did in 2019 and step aside to ensure a Tory victory, because otherwise you'll be handing the keys to Keir Starmer.
If you vote Tory and you get another Tory government, you're going to get Labour policies. All we've had under 13 years of ostensibly Conservative governance is Labour policies. We have all the symptoms of progressive socialism gone wrong. National debt out of control, taxation out of control, an economy that isn't growing, people getting poorer, a broken labour force. Can I just finish? Broken public services.
Power, though, are you?
We are going to get seats. It's not sufficient for reform.
Well, UKIP got 4 million votes in 2015 with one seat. What's changed from that? We're still using the first past the post.
As bad as things were in 2015, as much as people recognise the need for Brexit, for the United Kingdom to leave the EU in 2015, things now are immeasurably worse. The population is incredibly febrile. They are irritated. It's a mild way of putting it. I can't say what I would want to say on daytime television. They are irritated to the point of, you know, not homicidal tendencies, but you know what I mean with the Conservative government. And they recognise, people aren't stupid, they recognise how damaging the Tories have been and how more damaging Labour would be. And the only challenge Reform UK faces, it's not a policy challenge, it's not a have we got the right people challenge. The challenge we face is getting our name out to the reaches of Great Britain. If we can achieve that, if people know we exist, they will vote for us because they are sick and tired of what's been happening to the country. And the vast majority of people in this country are small C Conservative. Even those who vote Labour are small C Conservative. They want to see national interests being promoted. They want policies, legislation, regulations that promote British citizens and the national interest. They don't want to be governed through supranational institutions, which is the obsession of this government, or through so-called independent bodies that they keep setting up and stripping away power from the democratic.
They want that because all the proof will be in how you do at the election.
It will, yeah.
And very finally, are you attracted by a pint of wine?
I was looking at that.
Benefit?
I mean, of all the benefits that Brexit offered, that's not the one that would have been at the top of my list. I mean, I actually don't know what I pour myself when I pour a glass of wine. It has to be full, though. I'm not for half glasses. I think if you're going to have a glass of wine, fill the wretched thing up to the top.
I think it was Churchill who famously championed the pint of wine. He said a full bottle
of champagne, I think it was,
a full bottle's too much, half a bottle's too little, so a pint is just right.
Good man.
All right, Ben Habib, Deputy Leader of Reform UK.
Thank you
so much.